So my PC was busted around the time the first trailer for Sonic 3 dropped. No discussion, no reaction, no nothing. And I loved Sonic 2, the movie, and I loved the Sonic series as a whole. So of course, my soul felt corrupted, empty from being unable to talk about what was assuredly gonna be a banger movie. But we're a month out from Sonic 3 dropping in theaters, less than a month. Yeah, too bad this idiot didn't upload this video over 3 weeks sooner. This video was originally recorded late November last month when the second trailer for Sonic 3 dropped. So keep that in mind. Omega late to going around to actually uploading this and finishing the video, but I see the movie late tonight when this goes up. But I wanted to get my thoughts on it out before I see it. A few updated details will be sprinkled later on in this video too. Otherwise, back to the video. So of course, retribution time. I'll discuss my thoughts and reactions from both the first and second trailer, but I'm just gonna drop my reaction to the second trailer right now.
What is this den of madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
What?
It does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
They could just name I didn't think they could just name drop Pokemon like that. Chao Garden though, that's awesome.
Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Little Mao.
We were born ready.
Okay, we about to get the most dragged out, but the funniest subplot.
Come on,
again.
Radio. That is dark.
Oh, okay. Ooh! Oh, thank God. Okay.
Bless all the
Woo!
voices.
Woo!
Remember, this is what matters the most.
Brother, who does your highlights?
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
This ends now.
They got the guns.
Our destiny.
We're in space. We're in space.
This ends now.
You know what's so funny to think about? I always forget. This is a Christmas movie. Well, it's essentially Sonic Adventure 2, the movie. Essentially. One of the darker toned Sonic games with Shadow and his backstory adapting into a feature film. It's gonna be a Christmas movie. And the trailer itself makes fun of that fact, but it's just so surreal. The fact we have a full-fledged trilogy of live-action Sonic movies that are actually decent. A full-fledged movie where Shadow the Hedgehog's the main focus and whatnot. At worst, cautiously optimistic. And that's really for like one or two specific things about this movie thus far that I'm feeling. At worst, cautious optimism. On the whole, I'm fully confident. Sonic 3 is probably going to be the best of the three Sonic movies and deliver most of what fans expect. And pretty much since the Sonic 2 after credits scene, I was sold from the get-go. The gift that keeps on giving is we're going to see Shadow, his entire backstory, all on the big screen. An even bigger, wider audience is going to understand the appeal and splendor that is Shadow the Hedgehog. The presentation, first off, all on its own, sells it so hard. Compared to Sonic 2, you could tell the overall visual quality got beefed up. The detail on Team Sonic, Shadow especially, breaking his glass capsule when he's drenched in water, the overall lighting, CGI, Eggman's mechs, how much more vibrant and colorful the characters and overall effects are, especially compared to how dry and subdued Sonic 2 looked. They're making good use of the budget, I feel. Obviously, it's not peak Marvel CGI type of budget like with the later Avengers movies, for example. It's up there though. It's decently up there just on the model and effects quality. It's surprisingly very beautiful thus far, more than I was at least expecting. And the way Shadow's presented overall. The writers and directors got it. Granted, the director behind Sonic 3, Jeff Fowler, he helped animate cutscenes in Shadow the Hedgehog 2005. So the dude's been hands-on between that and SA2 Shadow's whole appeal and premise. He's familiar with the character. But regardless, they understand. They get it. Which is very cathartic. He's portrayed as this darker opposite to Sonic. He's more broken, corrupted, and tragic. He wasn't always bitter and destructive, but every time he's involved in any action, he's a menace. He curb stomps Knuckles, Tails, he makes Sonic look like garbage, he takes out gun soldiers like it's nothing. This very menacing, threatening force. And that's perfect, especially since they're basically adapting SA2, his debut game, where all of that traits stay within that character in that game. They even have the chutzpah to give Shadow a motorcycle and a gun. Sonic and non-Sonic fans, almost 2 decades ago, they would have booed to high heaven this film at the time. Firearm, boo! He's riding a motorcycle, boo! Garbage, cringe! Overly edgy for Sonic, for any of the characters to use guns, giving Shadow one. Nowadays, we're all just like, hell yes. That means something genuine and heartfelt to Sonic fans like me and others, to people who like the over-the-top, grimmer antics like Shadow, the guns, Gerald, Maria, the Space Colony arc, the Eclipse Cannon, etc. When they ham up the Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow 05 fan service, but they don't half-ass it, or they execute it in places where it doesn't fit. No. They know what they're doing. The Akira slide with the motorcycle, the burning city shots, the way he kicks the gun up from the ground, the execution of it all. That visual shot of Sonic rising up above Tokyo to clash with Shadow as Shadow falls down. Sonic rising up, overcoming his newest, toughest obstacle amidst the light, his friends and family, his home, protecting all of that while Shadow's falling from the sky, descending into madness and chaos, coming from clouds, fog, darkness, being shrouded in anger, despair, and rage as a character, unleashing towards the place Maria called home, and a place he refuses to accept as any home, with no one at his side. I doubt they were reading that deep into it, with at least that one shot of Sonic and Shadow clashing, but they're playing into all that heartfelt, yet cheesy, nerdy, tropey nonsense, and I'm all here for that. They're definitely cooking. All I'm saying is movies can slip in one damn if it's PG. If Shadow says damn, you're not just gonna get people cheering at Maria getting shot. I don't even know if I'm gonna follow through with that low key. I'm having second thoughts about cheering when Maria gets shot. I am thinking about Sonic Symphony. People didn't stop those fans when they went there because it happened there. And Keanu Reeves. The fact the name drop in Sonic Movie 1, and now him voicing Shadow, one of the most prolific and well-known Hollywood actors in this day and age, even long before. Yeah, Hollywood actors instead of the original VAs, cringe, gross, blah blah blah, I get it. I'm open to Hollywood actors playing long-established fictional characters and played by other people in other mediums, if they can nail the role. If they were either made for or understand the character to adjust to their description and background. Jack Black and Charlie Day, for example. They were made for Bowser and Luigi in the Mario movie. Keegan-Michael Key understood Toad and his appeal, and he made a fitting voice that also wasn't this annoying, high-octave uncomfortableness. Idris Elba kills it as Knuckles. Ben Schwartz is a great voice for Sonic. We at least still have Colleen voicing Tails in these movies, and she's been one of the best Tails VAs. And I'm almost 100% confident Keanu Reeves is gonna crush it as Shadow, especially since it's confirmed Keanu did do extensive research on Shadow. Jeff Fowler said himself, he didn't just phone in lines, he wanted to create this very fan-faithful version of him. So I'm just imagining how many lore dumps and cutscenes and gameplay he dug up and looked up across Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06. Who knows how deep it went, but the guy's making an effort to deliver. The whole team understands when it comes to Shadow, and as one of the biggest Shadow glazers in this room, I'm very grateful for that. Thus far, Keanu Reeves' delivery is really good so far. Everything about him and surrounding him, genuinely perfect. Aliyah Brown's pretty much the perfect casting for Maria. I'm pretty sure she's going to do really well. I'm ready for all the tear-jerking backgrounds and story between her and Shadow. Was anyone expecting that flower field scene? I'm shocked we got any flower field scene. Especially because Dark Beginnings, the recent Sonic X Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings animation, that was very recent. That was like a month or two ago where we got that little visual. So getting that in this movie almost immediately after, that's crazy. We got Prison Island, Shadow unleashing onto the gun army when he awakens, consumed by revenge. The more he interacts with Sonic, the more irritated he gets, which is that perfect dynamic the two have canonically in-game and in comic universe. Again, just perfect execution around with my little edgy boy. I love it. Oh, see, God forbid Sonic and like the hero stuff, everything else around the movie's bad, but I could bet my nuts that the Shadow stuff is gonna be like genuinely extremely good in this movie. It's so good. It's so good. On the Sonic and core plot side of it all, I do like they are playing into not really just the responsibility angle. Sonic 2 is kind of like a hero coming of age story for Sonic character-wise. It was good, him accidentally getting Tails injured halfway into the movie after bonding, and then taking up the mantle when he's going to the Master Emerald Shrine, him saving Knuckles when the Master Emerald Shrine collapses, despite what's happened between them throughout the movie. The supersonic scene after Sonic pretty much clawing, trying to push, and then accepting fully his new family. It was all pretty much that. But in this trailer, we get a lot of Tom expressing having faith in Sonic, making the right choice, and how much he's grown. I do like Sonic's relationship with Tom and Maddie, and Tom and Maddie as characters. It's a neat little change of pace, something cute and heartwarming, unique to the movieverse, something specific to it to spice it up so it's not like the exact same retread, it's its own thing. And it's something that does make sense, making Sonic find a found family. But I would like this movie more if it gave Sonic more of that autonomy character-wise. We just have Sonic doing more Sonic things on his own accord, and with more experience, he'll be heroing and doing Sonic things with a little more panache and grace. Probably won't happen, I'm not getting my hopes up, but I do kind of like the angle they take with movie Sonic. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, it's not how plenty don't see Sonic himself. I see this as a Sonic, obviously not the same as the game Sonic, but a Sonic that still works for what it is. Sonic hugs Knuckles at a point in the second trailer, it was very cute. First trailer did give us, though, when Tails is saying to Sonic, like, it's dangerous, and then Sonic responds, when has that ever stopped me? Not gonna lie, that's like the most Sonic thing movie Sonic's ever said, and it's great. So I am a little more hopeful than most when it comes to movie Sonic. Tails and Knuckles pretty much tag along for the adventure as they always do. I'm looking forward to Knuckles and Sonic's banter, as that was a treat in Sonic 2, and pretty much every Sonic game for that matter. That said, I do kind of hope Knuckles gets to do at least one cool thing, some strong feat or assist. I don't mind him being comedic relief. If they can manage to give him some cool action, some engaging fight, whether it's a Shadow rematch, something else in the movie later on, or something, especially if they manage to do good on the comedy, because, like, you can make Knuckles funny. I would rather you balance the two, and thus far, like, the comedy with him is good. So at least if the comedy is good, like, that's fine. For the most part. But I think more people would genuinely appreciate a balance, especially after Sonic 2 made Knuckles cool and heartfelt again, and probably Tails too. Obviously, there's only so many characters you can flesh out and give adequate screen time to, development, moments, etc. But this movie's probably going to stick to just Sonic and Shadow in that department, especially since Sonic 2 didn't really go that far when it came to Tails' character, his development, or anything like that. But I say that, and they can still pull an SA2 if they pull an SA2 and have Sonic almost die, or put in a scenario Tails thinks he dies and then he rises up. That would be phenomenal. But they're teaming up with Gun, they travel across Tokyo, London, and whatnot to deal with Shadow. It'll be a cool world-traveling-esque type of adventure. I could get behind that. We got the Gun Commander from the first and second movies. Team Sonic convenes with him in Tokyo at the Chao Garden, a restaurant themed after the Chao in their garden. I like that a lot. That's really creative. I think that's really cute. I do wonder if they'll ever work Chao in the movie canon legitimately or not. I feel like it still might be up in the air. This could be a nail in that coffin unless I'm reading too deep into it. I'm shocked. They just casually name dropped Detective Pikachu and Pokemon in this movie because a girl asked Tails if he's Detective Pikachu, and then Knuckles makes fun of him saying he does look like a Pokemon Pika Pika. It's really funny. I'm shocked they could just casually name drop it like it's a random Tuesday in a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, just Pokemon. Nintendo had to have gone for that check just for that one joke. Which, hey, it's still really cool and low-key wholesome because it's like Sonic extending a hand almost as a thanks to Detective Pikachu. Because that was the movie to prove, hey, video game movies can work even on a fundamental level, both as far as adapting the source material or just as a different medium where it not often succeeds. It's cute and funny in a meta-level way like that. Bottom line is, Smash Bros. Movie copers have another thing to latch onto. We got Rachel and her husband from the wedding scene in Sonic 2 confirmed for the movie. I'm gonna be honest, for as dragged out and unnecessary the wedding stuff was in movie 2, I think it's genuinely funny, for the most part. We care about Sonic and them more, not much the humans and whatever they got going on. But I enjoyed the wedding stuff, the whole wedding being a secret operation from Gun. That was a funny twist. So if we get some side subplot on a similar level, people will be mad, understandably so. I'm not one of those people. I'm gonna have a fun time, at least if it's funny. Even then, it at least makes sense for what the humans are doing in this, going undercover for Gun. Gun's a whole big thing in this movie, it's Sonic Adventure 2. Tom, Maddie, Rachel, and the other guy, I forget the name of the fiance or husband, they all go undercover for Gun to investigate. It at least matches for what the movie's trying to go for. kind of surprised Tom and Maddie are also just chilling on the opposite side of the world, baking when their son's facing a super dangerous other hedgehog that's trying to blow up the world. I'm sure that does remind me about like the right, yeah, because people say movie Sonic's like really obnoxious in this trailer. He's kind of like this in every Sonic movie trailer, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm sure the writing on the whole is gonna be fine as far as jokes. It's probably gonna be good for serious stuff. People are pissed about the Google Maps line in the trailer. It is a shit joke. I can guarantee you that joke's somewhere else in the movie. Sonic's lip flaps don't match that line as it is in the trailer. It's gonna be a different scene. It's not when Eggman's blasting the moon. Which, speaking of, they took their sweet time until they showed space. I was hoping we would get the Space Colony arc, or at least a form of the Space Colony arc. We got space, we got the Eclipse Cannon, Eggman pisses on the moon, someone was gonna say it. I like the Snapcube fan dubs. I'm just relieved. I was probably overthinking it, but I was a little nervous. We weren't gonna get space. We weren't gonna get the Space Colony or a form of it. We weren't gonna get space. We might just be getting like a little ship, the one that rises out of the water in London. But we're getting a form of it. We're still getting in the cannon, and we're still getting the moon blasted, which that's all I wanted. And we could still get a big space battle, whether between both the hedgehogs or with BioLizard. We got space. That's all I wanted. That's another thing too. Jim Carrey was heavy considering retirement. Not long after Sonic 2 finished, pretty much as soon as that movie was done. He explicitly states, if the angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be a really important film for people to see, he comes back to do another Sonic movie. The franchise to bring him out of a considerable potential retirement was Sonic. And the man grew his hair out for it to get cut for the movie on top. The guy clearly loves playing Eggman in these movies, and it's honestly endearing how much he's into it. They pretty much had to do that Ancient Stone cutting Robotnik's hair scene in one take. And he grew his hair out for a year and a half for that scene. You gotta respect the dedication. Man also gets a fat suit. We're finally getting Fat Eggman, finally, in the movieverse. He updates his outfit at a point in the movie, and it's the actual Eggman design. That's quite literally the Eggman design in the games, pretty much, in a couple shots, which, beautiful, pristine. Pretty much the only initial worry I had is that Gerald's in the film, not in a flashback too. He's alive, aiding Eggman, and he's just as kooky and crazy and over the top as Robotnik is, which might downplay the dark dreadfulness his character wrought in the series because of Maria's death. I think it'll be good if he reveals it to be a facade. If he was the one pulling the strings, he tricks Eggman at the end, he acts all kooky until the climax, where he goes mask off, acts deranged and a vengeful, desperate way instead of for laughs. That said, yeah, I do agree the movie might risk downplaying Gerald's seriousness and tragicness if they ham him up to be basically exactly another Dr. Eggman or Robotnik by the movie's interpretation. It might not be that big of a deal or departure, at least for me. I am curious though. Agent Stone's back, but he'll likely get left behind again towards the end. Maybe Gerald does betray Robotnik, and then that happens. Maybe we'll get Eggman coming full circle and appreciating Stone more. Be like, I think I miss Agent Stone. And when that happens, maybe we'll get and taking him less for granted. I know for a fact people love Agent Stone, at the very least. There's some stuff they can do with him. That last shot, though, towards the end of the trailer, that when Eggman's pretty much tackling Gerald into a Christmas tree, that just screams Jim Carrey. That was very funny, unironically. And lastly, in one shot where Sonic and Shadow fight on what looks like a volcano, we get a slight reflection in Sonic's eye that look an awful lot like the Chaos Emeralds. That got me hyped. I guess the other thing too, the score for the movie is going to be very uber generic. I'm already anticipating that, but at the very least, we're probably going to get Live and Learn, hopefully Super Sonic and Super Shadow, fighting either each other or hopefully the BioLizard and whatnot. That at least is something to look forward to, but I am also kind of reserving judgment on Sonic and Shadow's final fight. The clouds make it make less sense, kinda, but like, what are the odds that's not a volcano? Maybe they're fighting on the moon that got blasted and it's like about to blow up, going ruin. Maybe. Again, it doesn't make that much sense because of the clouds, but like that would make for a much cooler backdrop for their final fight than just fighting on a typical volcano. I don't even know where they would fight to. But yeah, no. Movie looks genuinely brilliant so far. If they wanted to end off on the Sonic movies here, Sonic Adventure 2, the movie, kind of, that's kind of its own discussion too. You get what I mean. You get what I mean when I'm saying that. And the final movie focusing on Shadow would honestly be a perfect send-off. I don't think they're going to stop here though. These movies keep performing really well, each new one performing better than the last. Sonic and non-Sonic fans, casual moviegoers are eating these movies up. We got spin-off material very recently. There's still a lot of Sonic material you could adapt into movies if you wanted to. There are rumors of the Knuckles TV show getting a second season with Team Chaotix being thrown in there. I'm low-key open to the idea if it's focused on those four genuinely Knuckles. Shadow's rumored to get a spin-off movie, not a show, but a proper movie, likely focused on Shadow 05 content. Very open to that. Sonic hands Eggman his quill in the trailer. What if we get Metal Sonic and he's the next antagonist for Sonic 4? Maybe we get Sonic CD or Sonic Adventure adapted afterwards. Maybe Sonic Heroes. Again, Silver, Blaze, the Wisps, and the Interstellar Amusement Park. Eggman taking over the world, a la Forces, but making Forces a story good for once. Frontiers, etc. There's a lot more source material they could use if the movie team wanted to. It is all right there. But either way, Sonic 3, unironically, looks kind of peak. Shadow's entire execution and Maria and the Sonic Adventure 2 bits are done flawlessly IMO. They're doing Eggman extremely well. Sonic's likely to be done well. I know its dialogue and quips aren't the best for people. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's good in these movies. He's good in Sonic 2. It's kind of a hot take right now. I understand. I'm indifferent to some of it too. He does have his moments here and there, but Sonic will likely be done well. Hopefully his character development gets to shine a little. Knuckles, Tails, Tom, Maddie, Stone, all the other characters are great. I'm curious about Gerald, but the presentation, the fan service, extremely on point. Super strong so far. It's just the score, man. It's just the soundtrack. Like, come on, man. This is the one avenue you have to take all the pages out from the Mario movie. These Sonic movies would just be so much fucking better. They would benefit ridiculously harder for either straight rips or remixed scores of Sonic music throughout these movies. People said like the trailer had like a leitmotif on His World from Sonic 06. I hope that's true. I gotta rewatch the trailer. I didn't hear it. I wouldn't give him that much credit, man. That's just me though. I wouldn't give him that big of a benefit of... See, people are critical of Sonic because I'm just like, God, this music's... I'm more critical on the music score because we got the Mario movie kinda recently. Yeah, for whatever reason Mario had licensed songs. Problem is, not only did we have game music in those licensed song spots, for whatever reason they wanted to replace them with licensed music, 98% of the entire movie, damn near the whole fucking film, has full-fledged themes remixed from hundreds of Mario games, and it matched the movie's tones and scenes perfectly. Nothing stopping them from doing the same, even marginally, like an eighth of the way there for Sonic, no matter what asinine rules or notions Paramount wants. Still, movie's gonna be peak. You can expect a review shortly after it drops. It's gonna slap. People in my Discord who saw it are going crazy about it. A handful more critical of the Sonic movies prior are singing many praises about 3. Reviews everywhere are high across the board. Highest rated film of the trilogy. Everywhere. I'm super hyped. I know it's gonna slap. Sonic 2 is great. This one's shaping up to blow that one out of the water. It's more Shadow. We're capping off the year of Shadow with a Shadow movie that looks fantastic after having a new Shadow game, which wound up as one of the best Sonic games in the franchise in a very, very hot minute, especially if you want to cut Mania from the equation. Give me your opinions down in those comments, and I'm replaying Shadow Generations, so take a wild guess as to what Sonic content in the near future is going to come. Thank you for watching, and stay super. Ooh, it's going to be so good. Ooh, peak incoming. Peak is incoming. God, I'm eating good this holiday. Damn, man.